Good morning dear students, welcome to Maths Bridge course. So, in the previous session we discussed about circles chapter, so let us continue with that. So, already when it comes to circles we have discussed what is the general equation of the circle, what is the standard equation, and particularly we also discussed what is the comprehensive, most comprehensive definition of a circle. By that we understood what is the locus of a circle, and also we got to know how the standard equation of circle we are getting from by the definition of the circle itself. And I told you what is the difference between general equation and also about the standard equation, and we learned what is a point circle, unit circle, and we learned secant, diameter, chord, and concepts related to angle in a semicircle, and what happens when there is this angle at the center and if there is an angle at the other side of the center from a chord, and also some basic properties when it comes to the chord, that is if you are drawing a perpendicular from the center to a chord, it bisects the chord. By that we derived the length of the chord, that is nothing but equal to what, friends? That is nothing but equal to 2 times square root of r square minus d square, that is the length of the chord. Then we discussed equation of the chord if midpoint is given. If the midpoint is given, how the equation of chord will be, that also we discussed. And now we will discuss about the remaining concepts, that is the concentric circles onwards we will be discussing in today's session. So, please pay attention. Now, what is this concentric circles? So, if you talk about the concentric circles, so see here a circle is given, here the center is what, let us take the center to be h comma k, h comma k. I am talking about the first circle, this is let this circle be S1 is equal to 0, let this circle be S2 is equal to 0. Okay. If I talk about the first circle, the radius will be, let it be R1, let it be R1. If I talk about the second circle, the center is the same, center is the same as the first circle, that is center is what, h comma k, but what happens here, the radius is different. Okay, the radius is more than R1, that will be, let us take this as R2, let the radius of S2 be equal to R2. Okay, this is what we got, S1 is equal to 0, S2 is equal to 0 are two circles such that here center is equal to what, h comma k is the same for both the circles, but radius will vary. Here radius is what, R1, here radius is what, R2. So, if I write the standard equation of S1, standard equation of S1 will be what, standard equation of S1 will be x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to what, is equal to what, is equal to, this is what, radius of first circle is what, R1. So, this will become what, R1 square, I can write it as what, R1 square. Clear, friends? This is what we will get, the standard equation of the circle, that is for the first circle. Okay, center is the same for both the circles. If I talk about S2, if I am talking about S2, okay, so the standard equation of the circle will become x minus h whole square, because here also the center is the same, and y minus k whole square is equal to, here the radius is what, it is not R1, here the radius is R2, here the radius is what, R2, so we will write it as what, R2 square. So, we will write it as what, friends, R2 square. Clear? Okay. So, we will represent the standard equation of the circle for a given concentric circle, if there are given concentric circle. Now, what will happen, sometimes they will say that, okay, they will say suppose if S is equal to x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0, okay, okay, is equal to 0, is a circle. Okay, this is representing a circle. Okay, is equal to 0, is a circle, this is definitely a circle, is a circle. They will say give equation of concentric circle, give equation of concentric circle. So, see, let this be S1, the given circle, let us take it as S1. For this circle, we have to write the concentric circle. So, what will happen? There is only one minute change. When you write a concentric circle, let S2 be the concentric circle. This is the general equation of the circle. Write down as it is, x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy. Okay, till here it is the same, because the center is the same, but here plus c, here it is the constant. Here instead of writing plus c, you will write it as what? Plus k is equal to 0. Plus k is equal to 0. So, whenever you are writing a concentric circle for a given circle, only thing that changes is the constant. See here what is happening here, here it is c, but here it is k. Okay, here it is k. This is the only change that happens. Okay, this is the only change that happens. So, for a given equation of the circle, if they are asking a concentric circle, write down the same equation, Okay, instead of writing c, constant value c, you write it as what? Plus k. Now, how to find out this value of k? And suppose they are telling the concentric circle. Okay, suppose they are telling the concentric circle is passing through some point 2 comma 0. Substitute the value 2 comma 0 here, and you will get the value of k. That's it. And you will get the value of k. Clear, friends? And you will get the value of k. I hope it is clear till here to all of you. This is how you have to write the concentric circle. This is how you have to write the concentric circle, friends. Clear? This is how you have to write the concentric circle. Next thing, this is the concept of concentric circles. Let us proceed. So, we are having concyclic points. Concyclic points we are having. That means what? On the circumference of the circle, there are points. Okay, and you are joining those points by drawing the lines. And this is falling for what is this? This is forming some quadrilateral. This quadrilateral we call it as, also call it as what? Cyclic quadrilateral. Okay, cyclic quadrilateral. Quadrilateral. This is called what? Cyclic quadrilateral. Okay, when we talk about this cyclic quadrilateral, see here, this is a quadrilateral in which the vertices are the points on the circumference of the given circle. They are called concyclic points. These points are called concyclic points because they are lying on the circumference of circle, and they are also the vertices of the quadrilateral. That's why it is called a cyclic quadrilateral. Suppose the cyclic quadrilateral be A, B, C and D. Okay. Here one important property you have to remember. These are the angles. Important property you have to remember. The sum of the opposite angles, okay, or the opposite angles are supplementary, not complementary. Supplementary means 180 degree. The opposite angles are supplementary. That means what? If I am taking angle A, for it opposite is what? C. Okay. For angle A, C is the opposite angle. Angle A plus angle C is equal to what, friends? It is 180 degree. Angle A plus angle C is equal to what, friends? It is 180 degree. Now, what will happen to this one? Angle D and angle B. If you talk about angle D and angle B, they are also opposite. Angle D plus angle B, this is equal to what? 180 degree. This is equal to what? 180 degree. Clear, friends? This is equal to what? 180 degree. Clear? So, see here, the opposite angles are supplementary. The opposite angles are supplementary. This is one very important point you have to remember. This is the reason. This is the reason. Now, you will understand the reason. Yesterday's class I didn't tell you the reason. This is the reason. This is the reason. When I say, suppose we are making an angle here. Okay. Suppose we are making an angle here. Suppose this is an angle theta. This is an angle alpha. If you look at this, let this be A, this is B, okay, this is C, okay, this is D. Now, this is what? This is just a, again, this is what? A cyclic quadrilateral. In cyclic quadrilateral, opposite angles are complementary, not complementary, sorry, it is supplementary. So, angle D plus angle C will be equal to what? 180 degree. That gives us what? Theta plus alpha is equal to 180 degree. This is how we got it yesterday. Yesterday, I told you directly. Theta plus alpha will be equal to what? 180 degree. But today's class I am telling the reason why it is 180 degree. Clear? Because in a cyclic quadrilateral, the opposite angles are supplementary. The opposite angles are supplementary. That means what? The sum of the opposite angles will be equal to 180 degree. The sum of the opposite angles will be equal to 180 degree. Please remember this property, highly useful in many questions. Okay? Done. Now, next thing. So, till now what we studied? What is that? Concyclic points, and also we studied about the concentric circles, right? Concentric circles. Now, see here. Now, we are talking about the power of a point. We are talking about the power of a point. Let this be a circle, S is equal to 0. Okay, let this be a circle, S is equal to 0. Let us denote the circle by the equation S is equal to x square plus y square plus what is it? 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. This is what we are having the equation of the circle. This is what we are having the equation of the circle. I hope it is visible to all of you. Now, see here, power of a point I am talking about. That means there should be some point. Okay, let us take some point. Okay, let us take some point P x1 comma y1. P x1 comma y1 be the point. P x1 comma y1 be the point. Now, power of a point means we have to refer, or we have to find out whether this point is lying outside the circle or is it lying on the circle. On the circle means on the circumference of the circle, or whether this point is lying inside the circle. How do you know that? For that we have to do what? Find out S11. Find out S11. S11 means what? You will put wherever x is there, you will put x1, wherever y is there, you will put y1. That means what? This will become S11 will be equal to what? S11 will be equal to, if I find out S11, okay, if I find out S11, I will get what? X1 square plus y1 square plus 2g x1 plus 2f y1 plus c. It will not be equal to 0, you will get some numerical value. I told you S11. Yesterday I was talking about the notations. I told you S11 when you do it, you will get a numerical value. I told you, right? So this is what you will do it. After doing this, what happens is, if S11, the numerical value which you are getting, if it is greater than 0, what will happen? The power of a point. What will happen to the power of a point? If it is greater than 0, the point lies outside the circle. Point lies outside the circle. That is what the power of a point it will become. Point lies outside the circle. First thing, if it is greater than 0, point lies outside the circle. If it is greater than 0, point lies outside the circle. Next thing is what? If S11, if what is happening is, if S11 is coming equal to 0, exactly equal to 0 if it is coming, what happens is, point lies on the circle. Point lies on the circle. Point lies on the circle. If S11 is equal to 0, point lies on the circle, exactly on the circle. So see this point, this is S11 is greater than 0, so it is lying outside the circle. Here, this is first one. And if you talk about the second one, if it is equal to 0, point lies exactly on the circle. This is second point. It is lying on the circle. Here, what is happening? Here it is S11 is equal to 0. Now, third condition which you must be already knowing or assuming. So that is what? If S11 is less than 0, then point lies inside the circle. The point lies inside the circle. Please note this, very important, because they have asked questions based on this concept. So this is what? S11 is less than 0, so it is lying inside the circle. This is the third point. Okay. So see here, if the power of a point, that is S11 is positive, then the point lies outside the circle. If S11 is negative, then the point lies inside the circle. If the S11 is equal to 0, exactly equal to 0, then the point lies on the circle. Okay, that's it. Very simple concept, but you have to remember this. Okay, but you have to know how to find S11. Just put the values of x1, y1 in the place of x and y. Okay, so x square will become what? X1 square. X will become what? 2gx will become what? 2gx1. Y square will become what? Y1 square. 2f will become what? 2fy1. So constant will remain as it is plus c. Okay, on putting these values you will get some numerical value. If it is greater than 0, that is positive, means the point is outside the circle. If negative, it is inside the circle. If it is equal to 0, it is lying on the circle. Okay, next thing. Okay, maximum distance and minimum distances they will ask. So see here, let there be a circle S is equal to 0. Okay, let there be a circle S is equal to 0. S is equal to 0. Let there be a point outside the circle P x1 y1. P x1 comma y1. Now see here, let this be the center. Definitely this is the center, not let this be, this is the center. Okay, let this be the radius r. This will be the radius r. Here also there will be radius r. Now if you want to find the minimum distance from point P x1 comma y1, if you want to find the minimum distance, to find the minimum distance, what you will do? The minimum distance is what? From this to the circle. Minimum distance from the point to the circle, not to the center of the circle. They are talking about, if I am here, if there is a circle, what is my minimum distance? That is where I am touching the circle. Okay, or what is the maximum distance they will ask. So see here, minimum distance is what? Minimum distance is what you should do. Minimum distance, you have to remember this. Minimum distance is nothing but what? Minimum distance is given by P to C, PC minus R within modulus, PC minus R. Okay, minimum distance is given by what? PC minus R. Why PC minus R? So PC will give us what? See here, this length BC will give us what? This length BC will give us from here to here the distance. Okay, minus R, if I remove this, what I'll get this distance. So this is what? This is the minimum distance. This is the minimum distance I want. But directly I don't know the value of this, because they have not given which point. They have not given the coordinates of this point. That means I cannot find out directly this value from P to this point. So I will do what? PC I will find out the value, because center is given. Center is given, h comma k if it is given. I will find out the value from P to C. I will use the distance formula minus radius. I will get this distance. This is known as minimum distance. So similarly, if you apply, what about the maximum distance? Maximum distance will be, so if you talk about the maximum distance, see here, maximum distance will be max distance is equal to what? They are asking the maximum distance. Maximum distance means I will take entire PC, I will add r, that means this is the maximum distance. From that point, this is the maximum distance, this is towards the other end of the circle. So, this is the maximum distance PC plus r. So, just remember this. So, modulus of PC plus r, because distance cannot be negative, that is why I am putting the modulus PC plus r. Okay, PC plus r. So, just remember minimum distance means what? From that point to the center, the distance minus radius. Maximum distance means what? From the point to the center distance plus radius. Okay, from the point to the center distance, how you will find out? You will use the distance formula. Minus radius, here it is plus radius. Clear, friends? I hope it is clear. Definitely you should remember this, very important, maximum distance and minimum distance. Okay, so that is all about maximum minimum distance. Now let us go to the next concept. See here, length of the intercepts on the coordinate axis by the circle. So, please give it a thought. What will be the length? I will give you 1 minute. Please think about it. What will be the length? Okay. But before doing this, let us take up one question so that you understand better about how the questions are coming when it comes to power of a point. Power of a point. So, see here, they are given if, let us take it up here, if alpha comma 0 is a point lies inside the circle given by x square plus y square, okay, minus 2x minus 3y is equal to 0, minus 2x minus 3y is equal to 0. Okay, they are asking find the range of, they are asking find the range of alpha, find the range of alpha, they are asking, find the range of alpha, they are asking. So, they are telling it is lying inside the circle, that means what? S11 will be what? S11 will be less than 0. They are telling it is lying inside the circle, S11 will be less than 0. S11 means what? I should substitute the value of alpha and 0, wherever x is there I should put alpha, wherever y is there I should put 0. So, this will become what? S11 if I put it here, this will become what? Alpha square plus y square is what? 0 square minus 2 into alpha minus what is this? 3 into y, right? Minus 3 into y. So, that will become what? 3 into 0. This is what I will be having. Yes or no? Let me check the question once. Okay. This should not be 3y, this should be just minus 3. This should be minus 3 is equal to 0. So, there is, this will be minus 3 is equal to 0. When I put S11 alpha square 0 minus 2 alpha minus 3, okay, S11 is less than 0 because it is inside the circle. So, what I can do here, alpha square minus 2 alpha minus 3 is less than 0. Definitely I should factorize this. So, alpha square minus product is minus 3, sum is minus 2. So, I can take it as what? Alpha square, what will this product be? So, minus 3 plus 1, correct na? Minus 3 plus 1, minus 3 alpha plus alpha minus 3 is less than 0. On factorizing, what I will be getting? I will take alpha common here, alpha minus 3, here what will this be? Plus 1 into alpha minus 3 will be less than 0. So, what are the factors that I will be having? Alpha plus 1, okay, alpha plus 1, another factor will be alpha minus 3 is less than 0. Alpha minus 3 is less than 0. This is what the factors we would be getting. Okay, these are the factors we will be getting. So these are the factors that we would be getting. Clear? So so these are the factors we will be getting. So what is the range of alpha? Now you should be in a position to write the range directly, because we have already done functions, wavy curve method, intervals, everything. So what will be the range be? So it is less than 0, less than 0. So alpha belongs to what? Those who are not able to understand, please watch the previous sessions where I have done functions completely, sets, intervals, wavy curve method. Okay, we have done functions, everything is done. So alpha belongs to, here it is open interval. Why? Because it is less than 0, equals is not there. So it is open interval. Alpha will be alpha plus 1. If I equate to 0, what will this be? Minus 1. Alpha minus 3, if I equate to 0, I will get it as what? I will get it as 3. So vanishing points, discontinuous points, everything we have discussed, where open interval should come, where closed interval should come, all these things. And also some special functions also we have discussed, that is modulus function, greatest integer function, fractional functions, all these things, and also question based on them we have done it. Okay, please go through that again. Those who watched also, please go through that again, so it will be a nice revision for you. Okay, so alpha belongs to what? Minus 1 comma 3 open interval. So this is the range of alpha. Clear, friends? Let us proceed to now. Let us proceed to the intercept form. Length of intercepts on the coordinate axis by a circle. Okay, what they are talking about here? They are telling length of intercepts they are asking. Suppose circle is given by s is equal to 0. Okay, length of intercept. Length of intercept means length of intercept on x axis. Length of intercept on x axis, it is given by 2 times. Okay, 2 times not 2 times, I can write it as what? G square minus c. Okay, I can write it as what? G square minus c. 2 times G square minus c, or just I can write it as G square minus c. Okay, G square minus c. Length of intercept is given by what? G square minus c for x axis. Okay, for x axis I can give it as what? G square minus c. Okay, actually it will be 2 times, because there will be 2 times it will come. Okay, because there is no y. So 2 times G square minus c. Suppose the circle s is given as what? Let us take a standard equation of the circle, or general equation. S is equal to x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c is equal to 0. This is the equation of the circle. So length of the x intercept is what? 2 times square root of g square minus c. Here f will be equal to 0. Why 2 times? Because here f will become equal to 0, because y is equal to 0. Okay, there is no y coordinate here. So that is why we are having, there is no y intercept, that is what we are having 2 times square root of g square minus c. Then what will happen to y intercept? If it is only having y intercept, what will happen? It will become something reverse, that is 2 times instead of g square, it will become f square minus c. It will become 2 times square root of f square minus c. 2 times square root of f square minus c. Okay, so x intercept is what? Length of the x intercept is what? 2 times g square minus c, square root of g square minus c. Please remember this. And length of the y intercept is what? 2 times square root of f square minus c. Now x intercept we got, y intercept we got. Suppose there are both the intercepts. That time what to do? So see here, there is a circle. Okay, there is a perfect circle. See here, and we have x intercept is there, and you are having y intercept. Now if you ask me what is this x intercept length? This is 2 times square root of g square minus c. Both can be in the same circle. And what is the y intercept if you ask me? 2 times square root of, what is it? F square minus c. Okay, please remember this, 2 times square root of f square minus c. Okay, this is the intercept form. Okay, intercept form you should know the intercepts of the circle, that is x intercept and y intercept. X intercept is what? 2 times square root of g square minus c. Y intercept is 2 times square root of f square minus c. Next thing, now we will be studying about the different forms of the circle. Okay, about the different forms of the circle, and the first thing that we are having the intercept form itself already, which I discussed, that is this will become what? 2 times square root of g square minus c. And what will this be? 2 times square root of f square minus c. That is what we have. Okay, please make a note of it. So when we talk about the different forms of the circle, first thing we are having is about the intercepts. Okay, first thing we are having is about the intercepts. First thing we are having is about the intercept we are having. And one more thing, suppose this intercepts is fine, this intercepts is fine. Okay, next if you say that see here, if this circle is passing through the origin, if this circle is passing through the origin, that is 0 comma 0, 0 comma 0. Okay, if this circle is passing through the origin, definitely center somewhere here it will be. Okay, minus g comma minus f, let this be the center. If this circle is passing through the origin, what will happen to the general equation of the circle? What will happen to the general equation of the circle? So, if you talk about the general equation of the circle, here intercept will become what? But before coming to that, let me talk about the general equation of the circle. So, S, this be S is equal to 0. So, this S will be equal to x square plus y square plus 2gx plus 2fy plus c used to write, that plus c won't come, here it will be equal to 0 because this c will be equal to 0. If it is if a circle is passing through the origin, not the center at origin, if the circle is passing through the origin, the constant value c will be equal to 0. Circle passing through origin, for circle passing through origin, circle passing through origin means c will be equal to 0. Now, what will happen to the intercept? This will become what? 2 times square root of g square minus c won't be there. So, 2 times square root of g square. Okay, this will become equal to what? 2 times square root of f square minus c won't be there because c will be equal to 0. This I can write it as what? 2f. This I can write it as what? Square root of g square is what? G. This will become 2g. So, clear friends? This will be the intercepts of x and y respectively. Okay, one important thing you have to remember, if the circle is passing through the origin, not the center of origin, circle is passing through the origin, then the value of c, the constant value will be equal to 0. The constant will be equal to 0, you can say, that is it. C will be not there. Different forms of the circle. If the circle is touching x axis, what will happen to the equation of the circle? If the circle is touching x axis, what will happen to the equation of the circle? So, if it is touching x axis at the point a comma 0, if it is touching circle at the point x axis at the point, if the circle is touching x axis at the point a comma 0, here there will be a center, So, x coordinate of the center will be what? Definitely it is a only, okay, a only. Now, a only, this is x coordinate, this is a comma 0 we are having, Now, this is the center, we are having. Now, what happens is, so see here, what happens is, that let this be a point, let this be a 0 comma b, something like that, let this be 0 comma b or something like this. Okay. So, see here, let this point be, what is it? If it is a, here also it will be a. If this is b, this will be b only. Okay, this will be b only. Okay, this will be b only. Okay, now what happens is this is 0 comma b. What if I take this point will be 0 comma b. Fine. Now see here, if you talk about this distance from this to here, this point center, this distance is nothing but what? This distance is nothing but a, because it is parallel to the x axis. Parallel to the x axis means this length is b. If it is a, this length will also be a. Now, this length, vertical distance is what? B. This vertical distance is what? B. Similarly, this vertical distance is b. Okay, then definitely this vertical distance will also be b. This vertical distance will also be b. Now, here you have to please pay attention. See here, this vertical distance is b means, this is nothing but what? This is nothing but radius. The radius is nothing but equal to b. Okay, this vertical distance is equal to b, the radius nothing but equal to b. Now, what we can write the equation of the circle for this one? So, equation of the circle we can write it as in the standard form. Here centers are what? A comma b, and the radius is what? B. So, it will become x minus a whole square, okay, plus y minus b whole square is equal to radius square. Radius is what? Is nothing but equal to b square. So, what will be the equation of the circle if I simplify? This will be x square, okay, plus a square minus 2ax plus y square plus b square minus 2by is equal to b square. This is what we will be having. Now, what happens is s will be equal to x square plus y square minus 2ax minus 2by, b square is there. If I bring this b square, it will become equal to 0. Okay, b square if I bring it this side, it will become equal to 0 plus a square is equal to 0. So, this will be the equation of the circle touching, x axis. Okay, this will be the equation of the circle touching x axis. Just a minute. Okay, this will be the equation of the circle touching x axis. Clear friends? So, when it is touching x axis, the y coordinate of the center will be the radius. Okay, y coordinate of the center, this will be the radius. Y coordinate of the center will be the radius. Touching x axis, y coordinate of the center will be the radius, y coordinate of the center will be the radius. Now let us go to touching y axis. If it is touching y axis, that is touch the y axis at the point a comma 0, at the point a comma 0, okay, or let us take it as at the point 0 comma a, at the point 0 comma a, or we will take it as b only, better we will take it as b only, 0 comma b. At this point it is touching the circle, okay, at this point it is touching the circle, okay. Now let there be a point here, that is a comma 0 on the x axis. So if you consider these 2 points, see, this is the center means, okay, this will be what, this will be b, and this will be what, a, this will be what, a, this is the center of the circle, this is the center of the circle. Now if you talk about the distance, see here, if you talk about the distance, see clearly this vertical distance, this is the vertical distance, this is the vertical distance, this vertical distance is what, b, this vertical distance is what, b, and horizontal distance, this is what, a, horizontal distance, this is what, a. This a is what, this a is nothing but the radius of the circle, this a is nothing but the radius of the circle. So we are having a circle with center a comma b, and the radius here is what, a, radius here is what, a. So radius here is nothing but the x coordinate, okay, x coordinate. So x coordinate of the center. So if the circle is touching x axis, center will be a comma b, but radius will be equal to the y coordinate. And if the circle is touching y axis, center will be a comma b, and what will be the radius? Radius will be the x coordinate, reverse, okay. So what will be the equation of this circle? I can write it as s will be equal to x minus a whole square plus y minus b whole square is equal to radius is what? Radius here is a, that will be a square. So I can simplify this, I can write it as what? X square plus a square minus 2ax plus y square plus b square minus 2by is equal to a square. So this will be equal to, s will be equal to x square minus 2ax, or let me write it in the standard form, x square plus y square, a square s square will cancel, okay, minus 2ax, okay, minus 2by, this will be minus 2by plus b square is equal to 0. See, you don't have to remember by heart this one equation, just you have to know how it is coming. If it is touching x axis, radius will be the y coordinate of the center. If it is touching y axis, radius will be the x coordinate of the center. That's it. Based on that, you can derive yourself. You can write the equation of the circle by yourself. Okay, let us proceed further. Different forms of the circle. Different forms of the circle. If the circle is touching x axis, okay, if the circle is touching x axis at the point a comma 0, at the point a comma 0, and it is touching y axis at the point 0 comma a, at the point 0 comma a. So what will happen to the center? The center will be a comma a, the center will be a comma a, okay, and there will be 4 circles you will be having. The center will be a comma a, okay. If you talk about this center, if it is, this is first quadrant, second quadrant, third quadrant, and fourth quadrant. Here the center will become what? The center will become equal to minus a comma a, because second quadrant. Third quadrant, the center will become equal to what? Minus a comma minus a, and the center will be equal to what? The center here will be equal to, the center will be equal to here c, here the center will be equal to what? A comma minus a in the fourth quadrant, a comma minus a in the fourth quadrant. You have to remember this. So what will be the equation of the circle? If you talk about the first quadrant, what will be the equation of the circle? The equation of the circle will be x, I can write it as x plus or minus a whole square plus y plus or minus b plus or minus a whole square is equal to r square. R square is what? A itself. I should write it as what? A square. The radius will be a itself. So based on this, you can get the this one circle. Okay. Now how they will ask the question is, find the equation of this, find the center of the circle, okay. How they will ask the question is, find the center of the circle which is touching the coordinate axes, that is both x axis and y axis, okay, and having the radius 5 and having the radius 5, and the center is lying in the, and having the find the, they are asking, the question is what? Find the center of the circle. This is the question, okay, which the circle is touching both the coordinate axis and having the radius 5 and having the radius 5 and is lying in the third quadrant. So they are telling radius is 5. Radius is 5 means what happens? So radius is 5 means what happens? Radius is 5 means we are having 5 here, 5 here. Okay, that is what is giving us the radius. Yes or no? So radius is 5. So what will happen here? The radius is 5 means this will become, what is the center of the circle? The center of the circle, third quadrant means it will become minus 5 comma minus 5. That's all. Like this they will ask the question. We should be able to identify which quadrant, what will be the center of the circle. Clear, friends? I hope it is clear to all of you. Let us proceed to the next form. Let us proceed to the next form, that is different forms of the circle. Okay, different forms of the circle. See here, either the circle, okay, here the circle is touching the y axis at the origin. Here is touching the y axis at the origin. If the circle is touching the y axis at the origin, okay, at the origin, how many circles can you draw towards this side? I can draw many circles. Circle like this I can draw many circles. So how many circles I can draw? Infinitely many circles. If I take this side, here also I can draw infinitely many circles. Here also I can draw how many circles? Infinitely many circles. It will go on like this. It will keep going on like this. If it is touching y axis at origin, if it is touching y axis at the origin, if it is touching y axis at the origin. Okay. Now suppose they say that find the equation of the circle which is touching y axis at the origin, and the radius is equal to a, and the radius is equal to a, and they are telling the radius is equal to a. Okay, find the equation of that circle which is touching y axis at origin and the radius is equal to a. Then how to do such a question? Okay, then how to do such a question? They are telling what? Find the equation of the circle touching y axis at the origin and having radius is equal to a. Okay, and having radius is equal to a. Okay. Now see here how to do such a question. How to do such a question? Now when they give it like this, so it is touching y axis at the origin. So what will be the center? Center will be whatever the coordinates that we are having at the x axis. X axis coordinate is what? It is nothing but the radius. So the center will be what? The center will be a comma 0, because it is touching y axis at the origin. That means there will be no y-intercept at all. There is no y-intercept at all. So this will become what? A comma 0. Center will become a comma 0. So equation of the circle will become what? X minus a whole square plus y minus 0 whole square. Radius is equal to what? A square. This what we will have. So x minus a whole square plus y square is equal to what? A square. This what we will have. So we will get what? X square plus a square minus 2ax plus y square is equal to a square. A square cancels. I will have what? Equation of circle x square plus y square minus 2ax is equal to 0. This will be the equation of the circle which is touching the y axis at origin. Y axis at origin. Now similarly, if we say if it is touching x axis at the origin, touching x axis at origin, touching x axis at origin, touching x axis at origin. That means what? This is 0 comma 0. How many circles you can draw? N number of circles, that is infinitely many circles you can draw. This side also infinitely many circles you can keep drawing, touching y axis at or touching x axis at origin. So since it is touching x axis at origin, so what will happen? Suppose we are having the radius a. Okay, radius a, there is a, radius is a. Okay, x axis is 0. So center will become what? This radius is a. So center will become what? The center will become, find the equation of the circle which is touching the x axis at origin and having the radius a, if they say. So the center will become what? The coordinate of the center will be 0 comma a, because x axis at origin, so x coordinate will be 0, x coordinate of the center will be 0, and there will be only y coordinate, that is nothing but a. Okay, this is what we will be having. So what will be the equation of the circle? Equation of the circle is given by x minus 0 whole square plus y minus a whole square is equal to what? Is equal to a square. Radius is a square. Okay, so x square plus y square plus a square minus 2ay is equal to a square. A square cancel. I will have what? Equation of circle y square minus 2 x square plus y square minus 2ay is equal to 0. So this is the equation of the circle touching x axis at origin and having the radius a. So previously what we studied? Equation of the circle touching y axis at origin and having the radius a. Clear? Next, diagrammatic or not diagrammatic, this is diametric form of a circle. Diametric form of a circle, they would have given the ends of the diameter. Suppose AB is a diameter and they have given the ends of the diameter as what? X1, Y1, B is equal to X2, Y2. Okay, diametric form of a circle, diametric form of a circle. Diametric form of a circle is given by S is equal to, okay, S is equal to, it is given by S is equal to X minus X1 into X minus X2 plus Y into this is y minus y1 into y minus y2 is equal to 0. This is the diagrammatic or diametric equation of the circle. Diametric form of a circle. This is the diametric form of a circle. They have given, when they have given the ends of the diameter, this is the diametric form of a circle. Okay, diametric form of a circle. This is the diametric form of a circle. This is the diametric form of a circle. Okay. Now suppose they have given A is equal to, the coordinates of A is given as 1, 2 and the coordinates of B are given as minus 3, 4. Okay, minus 3, 4. Now if they ask you to find out the diametric form of a circle, how do you do it? So here I should do what? S will be equal to x, this will be x1, y1, this is 2, this will be x2, y2. So what will happen here? This will be x2, y2. This will be x2, y2. So what will happen here? So see here, this will be x minus x1, x1 is what? 1 into x minus x2, x2 is what? Minus 3, that is minus into minus plus 3, plus y minus y1, y1 is what? 2, okay, y minus y1 is what? 2 into y minus y2, y2 is what? 4, y minus 4. So this will be equal to 0. This will be the diametric form of the circle. Now sometimes what they will do is, let us take up the question. If they are given, if, very important, make a note, if they are given, if A x1 y1 and B x2 y2 are ends of a diameter, okay, where x1 x2 are roots of, where x1 x2 are roots of x square plus 3x minus 4 is equal to 0, and y1 y2 are roots of the quadratic equation, are roots of y square plus 4y plus 7 is equal to 0. Okay. Then the equation of the circle is given by, what you must do. So equation of the circle is given by, what you are supposed to do is just add both the equations. Okay. So what are the equations that we are having? So this is one equation and this is another equation. So if A and B are the ends of the diameter, where coordinates of A are what? x1 y1 and coordinates of B is x2 y2. Okay, ends of the diameter they are telling, and such that x1 x2 are the roots of this equation and y1 y2 are the roots of this equation, quadratic equation in x, quadratic equation in y we are getting. Then the equation of the circle is given by what they are asking. See, this you can do in many methods, but the shortcut which I am telling is just take the two equations, added, is given by, what is it? X square plus 3x minus 4 plus, second equation is what? Y square plus 4y plus 7 is equal to 0. So further I can simplify this, I can write this as what? I can write this as, this is given by x square plus y square plus 3x, okay, plus 4y minus 4 plus 7 is what? Plus 3 is equal to 0. So this is the diametric equation of the circle, when x1 x2 are the roots of some equation and y1 y2 are the roots of another equation. This is the shortcut we have to remember, very important. Just add the two equations, not product, not subtraction, not what is it, not taking the product of the two equations. You have to do what? Addition. You just add the two equations and simplify it, you will get the diametric equation of the circle. Clear friends? Very simple. This shortcut you have to remember. Next thing is, we are talking about parametric form of a circle. Now when we talk about the parametric form of a circle, so you must know one thing. Parametric form of a circle. So see here, parametric form of a circle, when we talk about, see here, there is a circle, center C and radius R. Okay, parametric form of a circle. So if you are having a circle, x square plus y square is equal to r square, okay, this is the standard equation of the circle. center is at origin, okay, x square plus y square is equal to r square you are having. Now we know that the identity, first identity of trigonometry, that is sin square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1. So multiply this equation by r square. So this will become what, r square sin square theta plus what is that we are having, plus r square cos square theta is equal to r square. Okay. So let me further simplify, r sin theta whole square is equal to, not plus, this is not is equal to, this will be plus r cos theta whole square is equal to r square. And let us write this equation now, x square plus y square is equal to r square. Now let us compare this. Okay, let us compare this, let us write it like this. This should have been actually cos square theta plus sin square theta is equal to 1. So this will be r square cos square theta plus r square sin square theta is equal to r square. So this will be r cos theta whole square plus r sin theta whole square is equal to r square. Equate this to this and equate this to this. So we will get what, x is equal to, we will get it as r cos theta, y is equal to, we will get it as r sin theta. This itself is the parametric equation of the circle. This itself is the parametric equation of the circle, parametric equation of the circle. Okay. Now if I take the standard equation of the circle, this I took when the center is at origin. Suppose we are having center at h comma k, x minus h whole square plus y minus k whole square is equal to r square. Then what will happen to this? This if I equate to, so let me write this down, this will become what, r cos theta whole square plus what is it, r sin theta whole square is equal to r square. So if I equate this, what I will get? I will get x is equal to h, if I send it that side, x is equal to h plus r cos theta. Similarly, I will get y is equal to, what is it, k plus r sin theta. So when standard equation of the circle is given, this is the parametric equation of the circle. This is the parametric equation of the circle. Clear, friends? This is how you have to do the parametric equation of the circle. Parametric form is very important, be it for circles, be it for straight lines, be it for conics, that is ellipse, parabola, hyperbola. Please remember this. Alright friends, I will wind up now. So in today's session, what are the things that we discussed? We discussed about, what is it, various equation of the circle, different forms of the circles. Okay, when you are touching x axis, when you are touching y axis, when the circle is passing through, or the when the y axis is at origin, when the x axis is at origin, and intercept form, all these things we discussed. Clear? And also the parametric form of the circle also we discussed. And also we discussed power of a point, very important, we discussed power of a point, and also we solved a question and power of a point. And diametric form of a circle, diametric form of a circle also we discussed, when the ends of the diameter are given, and when the ends of the diameter are given, and also we are having the ends of the diameter in such a way that the coordinates are roots of two equations. Okay, x coordinates are roots of the equation in x, quadratic equation in x, and y coordinates are the y coordinates of the ends of the diameter are the roots of the quadratic equation in y. Then what is the equation of the circle? Just add the two equation and simplify, you will get the diametric equation of the circle. Alright friends, I will wind up now. In the tomorrow session, we will be discussing some more concepts pertaining to circles, and we will be winding up with the chapter of circles. Thank you friends, take care.